Okay, so this is episode 2 of the half-hour zone session, two-table zone session min buy-in. A little later than planned today because we had some power outages and some other really annoying stuff happening here at home. But here we go. I'm going to set up my session, two tables, six. Oh, let's actually pull up the template that I created last time. All right, so that's all set up here. Actually, I'm going to reset this so I can get a better timestamp on the start. All right, so that's set up, ready to go. And I'll put the zone in here as a note. Come over here to the zone poker and pull up two of these tables. Min buy-ins, $2.50 each. All right. So last time I left up about one full min buy-in. So we're going to see what happens today. Also managed to turn the volume level down on the poker audio, so that shouldn't be as annoying. I guess I'm going to raise this guy here. Oh, geez. Oh, there we go. I just didn't have time to really raise what I wanted to raise. On this flop, I guess I'm going to check it to him, see what he does here. All right, so now, assuming that he doesn't have the ace, yes. All right. Fold this. Let me move myself down to the bottom of the table here for a better spot. So I actually played poker live this past weekend, and it's strange how different live is, not just in terms of being able to see people's faces, but also just in terms of the structure. In Bovada, the min buy-in at these zone tables is 50 big blinds, and I think the min buy-in at their cash tables is a little bit lower than that. Maybe it's 40, but the min buy-in at this table that I was at, I was at the smallest stake table that they had, 1-2. So big blind is 2, and the min buy-in was $40, which is only 20 big blinds. So real tiny stacks that you're allowed to play with there. And I was talking to my friend about it, why there's this difference. The smaller the stack, the less experts have an advantage over non-experts. And I guess, of course, a non-expert going in there feels less intimidated, and they only have to step up to the table with $40. So anyway, I experimented with an extremely short stack. I'm familiar with the short stack strategy and how it's easy to play really, really well with a short stack, because the strategy is much simpler. Because you don't get through that many betting rounds before you're all in, if you have a good hand. And and it seemed to work pretty well for me. Although I saw, as I usually see in poker rooms, one person after another going through $100 bill after $100 bill in their wallet at this 1-2 table. So I'm going to raise this up. It's kind of, and sometimes when you're sitting there, card debt or whatever, it's a little frustrating to see, other people at the table reaping the bounty of these people who keep buying it over and over again. Of course, I bought it only once. I bought it for my $40. I was up to, I think I was up to 65 at one point, which kind of is pushing the boundary of where you should stop using a short stack strategy. And then I ended up leaving. I think I left $6 down. I'm going to fold these fives here. That's basically a set mining situation. I think I had a big enough stack to be set mining there. I'll have to pay closer attention next time. I think you raised it. No, did I raise it? I raised it. So I'm not really doing the standard set mining move there if I'm not limping in. It's the last couple of hands that I had jacks twice in a row, and both of them ended up, losing the pot. One, I think there was clear flop with a bunch of overcards, maybe like ace king or ace queen or something. And of course, the other thing is, even when you raise, sometimes I saw raised pots with substantial raises pre-flop getting 5 callers. At one point, I even saw 3 people go all in on the river, right? So this is something I don't normally see online very often. I've seen situations where people go all in pre-flop or something, but this is people who hang in there. There's like 5 people calling the pre-flop betting, and then 4 people calling the flop betting, and 4 people calling the turn, and then somebody folding on the river, but the rest of them all going all in. And it's just like, so if you're sitting there with jacks, which is a pretty good hand pre-flop, and even if you get a good raise in, you're not going to get, pretty rare to get just 1 caller. And so then you're facing like, 4 people on the flop with like 2 overcards, and it's like, oh man, I just basically wasted my my pre-flop bet here. I think in one case I did try a continuation bet, because I think in one case I was up against just one person. Of course they called my continuation bet, and I think I gave up after that. I think we might have gotten all the way to showdown after that, but of course they had one of the overcards paired. So anyway, after doing pretty well for a while, played for about 2 hours live, I had jacks twice in a row that lost all of my profits and $6 in addition to that. So but it was definitely interesting. And it's also interesting that you can play with such a minimal bankroll. I was almost playing, I have a pretty small live bankroll, but it was almost within the bounds of bankroll management if I can buy it for $40. So I've been mostly doing a lot of folding here today so far. Only seen, I think, pretty good. Okay, so here come jacks. Definitely playable. We got a limper here, and somebody goes all in. And what do I do here? I feel like I should call, but at the same time, I guess I'm going to call and see what happens. I feel like maybe they've got, ace queen, ace jack. Maybe it's a coin flip. Maybe ace king. Okay, yeah. So that was a good call. Oh, that was a good call, but they ended up with 2 pair. All right. I guess that's still sort of coin flippy. No, it's not, because they're not both overcards. So I think that was a good call on my part. I'm not sure about the actual odds there, but I feel like pocket pair of anything is probably ahead of that hand. Well, no, pocket pair where you got one over, where you're over one of their cards is ahead. And I think if both of the cards are overcards to yours, then it's a coin flip. Although I'd have to look it up. Okay, so here I have ace jack, out of position to the razor, but he looks like he's kind of doing a blind steal thing here, so I think I'm going to call him. And okay, now I'm going to get all in, because my stack has gotten pretty small here. Hopefully okay, they're not calling me. I'm going to fold this. Okay, so 2 8s, so standard raise here. For a while I was playing, kind of doing just this pretty standard set mining, wanting to see a pot for as cheap as possible with most lower pocket pairs like 8s and lower. I read something recently that for zone poker, because people are playing tighter, aggression is, okay, so now I have, there's straight draw, it's kind of a drawy board. But I think I need a bet for value here. So let's bet a little bit bigger, just to, a little bit smaller than that. Ooh, almost missed it. And I got 8s over here. And I don't know what I should do with this. Well, he's like doing a steal, so I'm going to call with the 8s over here. Now I've got an overcard, and I guess I got to go all in because if I get a call, he's probably got the king. No, he doesn't have it. All right, well, there we go. So now I've got the eights here. I'm going to check it around to the pre-flop raiser. Probably going to have to fold here. I can imagine him having a king here. Even though he was stealing, he could have been stealing with king something, king small card offsuit. So anyway, for the pocket pairs, I used to limp in with most of the smaller pocket pairs, hoping to keep the pot as small as possible pre-flop to get a good stack to pot ratio for implied odds, assuming that I flopped a set. But I read something about, aggression in zone poker is much more important because people are generally playing tighter and there's a lot more fold equity. And so I've started raising all my pocket pairs. I mean, obviously there is no early position here. If I was playing like a cash game like full ring, I definitely wouldn't be raising a small pocket pair from early position. I might be still limping that in. But here, it's kind of, we've got middle position and on here. And so I'm testing out that aggression. I guess it seems to be working. There's also a great deal of debate in we're talking about zone poker and talking about like balancing ranges and what that actually means here, because people aren't reading your hands across multiple hands because you're anonymous and get reseeded over and over. So here I raised. It's a pretty dry board, so I'm going to go for a continuation bet here and see if I can get this guy to fold, and he's not folding. So I'm not going to fire another barrel here. And now he's probably going to bet because he's probably got something. So I don't know. I could imagine him having a 3. Maybe came in with ace 3. Now he's got his triple, or maybe he has a flush that he actually hit here. Maybe he has 3 of a kind there. All right. But anyway, yeah. So what it means to balance your range, and it seems like after discussing it with a number of different people that you're kind of balancing your range against the average perceived range of other players and kind of in sort of the accumulated behavior of other players, the collective behavior of everybody. All right, so I think I'm going to re-raise this guy here. But if he re-raises above me, I'm going to fold. Okay, yeah, so that was a good re-raise there. I mean, he was in, I don't even remember what position I was in, but he was not under the gun there. I mean, he might have had, I don't know if he would have folded ace king. He might have had ace jack or a pocket pair and folded thinking that I had a bigger pocket pair. It'd be nice if he folded ace king, thinking that I had kings or aces. Okay, so I'm going to fold this, even though it looks like a blind steal. Fold these guys here. I want somebody to, hopefully one of these guys will raise me so I can re-raise them over here with the queens, and they're not doing that. I'm still going to just put in a standard raise then. Hopefully get this limper to call me. Yeah, he's probably going to call for sure there. Okay, so I flopped a set. This guy goes all in. Of course, I have to call him. And he's got the 8 and the 6. And only 1 diamond, though, so he's not... All right, so that was a good hand there for me. Ooh, oh, I missed my ace king. Ah, caught up in the queens and missed my ace king. That's the problem with playing more than one table in Zoom with the timer. So you only have a 15-second timer. But I find that it just kind of balances everything out a lot better to be playing 2 in parallel. Because you can have a wave happening in one, like up or down, and still feel okay because you're doing all right in the other table. Okay, so here I have two overcards. I was the raiser. This is a pretty dry flop, so this is a good spot for continuation bet. See if we can get this guy to fold. Although it's a flop that might not hit my raising range. Okay, so now I've got a decent kicker with top pair. So I think I need to value bet this through and hope he didn't flop a set. And he's raising me. So in this position, I think that he flopped a set. I don't think he'd be raising if he'd suddenly gotten a king. He could have also have two pair. He could have had a 10, like he could have king 10, so I think I'm going to fold this. I think I'm behind there. He might have re-raised if he had ace king in that situation. I'm going to fold the suited ace there. There's somebody raised in front of me. All right. I'm going to fold this in the small blind here. Okay. So now I've got a queen ace here. This is a good raising hand in late position. Well, good raising hand in any position here. See if we can get this guy to call. Oh, he's folding. All right. Queen 10 is a fold in the small blind. Fold now that he's raised it over here. Even in position. I don't know. That's not. I'm not even gonna try and steal blind with that. King 10 is a fold. So I've got a suited king here. I think I'm going to. But somebody raised. I'm gonna fold it now that somebody raised. Okay, so I'm gonna raise with my pocket pair here from under the gun. Yeah, I think just because people fold so much more easily in zone, that becomes a more profitable way of handling the pocket pairs. Whereas, like if I was playing like a ring game at this level, full ring, I'd probably get a couple of callers there and then be in trouble on the flop if I didn't flop a set. Okay, so now I've got aces and ace king in parallel. I'm going to raise up my aces. I'm going to re-raise with my ace king up to 45. Let's see if I can juggle both these without running out of time here. Hopefully somebody re-raises me with my aces and I can get all in, and that did not happen. Here again we got a dry flop. My aces are overcards to everything here. And I'm going to do a, oh man, this is, all right. Okay, so my value bet worked there. Not a value bet, a continuation bet over there. Value bet over here. I've got, oh man. All right, so now I'm looking for somebody who has ace king who may have called my raise and is sitting here on a straight. So I think I'm going to check it around for pot control. Okay, so now what? I think I probably need to value bet here, although somebody did call. What would they have been calling with? 2 people called. What are they calling with? I'm up against somebody. Okay, so I'm just going to call this to keep the pot small. Hopefully that third person calls and doesn't re-raise. Okay. 6-9. Oh, wait, who even won there? 6. What did he have? Oh, he had a straight. Oh, man. All right, yep. So anyway, I'm glad I called that. Glad I didn't re-raise him. Well, I guess that felt like a pretty small value bet for him there. The pot had gotten pretty big at that point. Well, he did get us to call. I don't think I would have, if the bet was much bigger, I don't think I would have called it. So maybe that was what he was intending. And here I get to see the flop for free in my big blind. So this hasn't happened much here. Remind myself what time I started here. So I started at 38. So we got about 10 more minutes to play here before my half hour's up. Okay, so we got a raise and a re-raise. And what do I... Early position raise, even worse. So this guy's re-raising. I think this is a position where I should fold the jacks. I think I'm... So like, guy's probably got pocket queens or higher. Or ace king, like 2 overcards to me or something. Putting me in a bad spot. Coin flip or being crushed. Maybe I'll get to see this flop for free with the... and he's not going to let me do it. I'm not going to re-steal here. Well, I could call. I'll call and see how he behaves after the flop. If he might have just been trying to steal. I got 2 overcards. I'm just going to call through. 6, 7, 8, 9. So now I'm 1 out to no, this is, yeah, so I got nothing here. I got to fold it. So maybe that was a blind steal, but he probably hit one of those low cards somewhere there and made a pair. And by the end, I only had 1 overcard. He could have matched with the queen as well. Okay, so let's raise this guy up. Suited queen. I'm gonna just fold this. Save my 3 cents. Okay, so now I've got kind of a somewhat slightly wet board. Somebody could have a straight draw or a flush draw here. We get a little blocking bet, I guess, over here from this guy. I'm going to put a value bet in on top of him. I'm getting a call. And, oh, wow. So now he probably made his flush. Let's see if he bets again. No. All right. So now we have 5. So 6, 9. Yeah, so I don't know. I probably wouldn't be calling my raise with many of these things. Let's just check it back for pot control. Maybe he'll put a small bet in and we can... okay, so 80 cents here. I feel like maybe he's got the flush and he's slow playing it there on the turn. All right, Queen Jack, I'm going to fold. So like, do I have 30 big blinds over here? Yeah. I'm going to call with this here from this position. So now I have a gut shot, straight draw, which I don't feel, yeah, I can't call that. Can't call that bet with my gut shot. This guy's making me wait over here, and now he's raising it. I'm just going to fold that. I'm going to rebuy over here. Let's get another $2 in here. You can't buy in for that little. Oh. Fold this. Okay, I got to buy in for $250 minimum. Just got a few minutes left. Want to make the most of it. So buy in for $250, and then come back here to my tracking software and make that note. Back here to poker dominator and note that I'm up to 750 is what my total buy-in is. All right. Let's try and see a few more hands here. So I'm in late position here. If these guys both fold, I think this might be raising hand, but I'm going to raise a smaller amount. It's not a hand that I'm super happy about, and I don't need to worry about someone reading me. Okay, so now I got to re-raise. I guess he kind of counted that as a limp. I'm going to call, though, with that. Okay, so now I have top pair with a good kicker. Re-raise could have been with probably, I don't know, maybe he has aces, but could have raised with jacks. So I'm going to do kind of a value bet here. And they both fold. All right. Yeah, so I'm assuming maybe he had jacks, maybe he had tens, maybe he had ace queen or something like that. So I get to see the flop for free over here with a terrible hand. Let's just see if we can take this down here. All right, yes, we got 3 cents out of that guy. Because he called the blind, probably with a terrible hand. So, looking at what happened, so I'm almost done with this session here, and looking at what's happened, I think I've gotten pretty good cards, at least pre-flop. I lost quite a bit of money on those aces when somebody had a straight by the river. I don't know if I played that incorrectly. I have to look back at the hand history and think about it a little bit more. So here's a raise. Does this look like a blind steal? Yeah, so I'm going to defend by calling here. And that is not a good flop for me, but I'm going to check it back to him. I'm sure, ace is definitely within the collective player raising range there, or blind stealing range, either one, whatever he's doing there, value betting or blind stealing. Yeah, so thinking about how I played those aces, I still value bet on the flop. Did I not value bet big enough? I might have been a little bit flustered there, so maybe I bet too small and allowed him to call profitably with his draw. I have to look at it again. Here, I think I call with this. Okay, so now I got shot straight draw again, but can't really call any reasonably sized bets here. I mean, I have backdoor flush draw as well. I guess we're with this many callers, just trying to get pot odds here. Okay, so now my flush draw is gone. And they're checking it through. Is he gonna check it through number 5? If he does, then see my free card. Nope. Okay, so nothing happened there. I don't think I've won with the high card here. So this is the kind of situation where it's like, oh man, if I've really been playing a half hour, this is hard. It's hard to stop right now. I'm down $2, and haven't gotten a good hand for quite a while. So it's like, I just want to play for one more good hand. Okay, so he's raising it up. I think I can. I'm not going to 3-bet with this. I'm just going to call. So this is a case where, like, I've got a good ratio for set mining. Now I've got 2 overcards. Check it back to him, but I'll call his bet if he makes a continuation type bet. Also do have the backdoor flush draw, but I'm not counting on that. I can call this continuation bet with my overpair. Okay, so now what do you have raised with low connectors there? I don't know, but I'm just going to check it through to keep the pot small here. Could have an overpair above my overpair, and that queen is not a good card for me. But I can act like it is and see what happens. Is he sitting down? Well, yeah, if he's sitting down, he's got his, oh, I don't know. I don't know what he was calling that with. Okay, and I think that's That's time to stop. I got a phone call coming in here, so I'm gonna stop and